What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz once again logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another versus / storytime video. And in this video we are going to take a look at Gao's Lufenia stage and what I think of it, and you know, my team and stuff like that, and a little bit in the end we'll do a little bit of story time as well. So let's start this like we always do. Let's start this with the fight itself with the team that I went with. So Kuja is definitely in this one, mainly because his synergy. I did get his LD. He's pretty strong. I don't have his burst, so that is a bit of a downer, but I think the most important thing is to get the LD weapon here. Then we've got Realm, of course, to stop the Lufenia orbs from counting down to 0. I didn't bring any counter. I initially did, but it just wasn't working out for me. So I just ended up, you know, just relying on Realm in the end. And then we've got Warrior of Light. I know Warrior of Light's skill 2 is range, and the bosses are actually resistant to that, but thanks to Kuja's light enchant, we can bypass that double resistance. So that is a very nice thing to have. And of course he can block most of the HP attacks anyway. Like, as long as you have the shield, like, you know, those breaths shouldn't really be an issue. Now, there are obviously other characters that are really good, like Gao, for example, is going to be very, very good here. If you did get his LD, I think it's well worth bringing him here. He does have counter, and he has the Earth enchant to everyone, which is going to make this fight so much easier. And then you can just pick whoever you want for the other two and let Gao just run wild, basically. No pun intended. So, okay. I did fail quite a few times here. Like I said, I did try with a counter mechanic first initially, and that didn't really work out. I tried Kurosame as well, just like in Bahamut. I wanted to just push through, but it was getting very late. I was getting tired while I was doing this, so I ended up just putting Kuja back in. Initially I didn't have Kuja in my team, excuse me, and yeah, in the end I just went with this, and like I said, I've explained why I picked these characters, but there's certainly other characters that you can have. Like 8 can counter Gao, not Gao, Galuf can counter as well. You got Cater that can counter as well. Unfortunately, there's really not much choices when it comes to the Earth element. I did try Ishtola as well, since she can do a bit of delay as well. That didn't really work out for me. So yeah, it's either you bring Gao or you bring Realm and few counters as well. So it's quite limiting in a way, but at the same time it's not as limiting as the challenge quest. So overall I thought it was a pretty decent fight. I did enjoy it. It was a little bit frustrating as well, seeing that you have to fight 3 of them at the last wave, and it just yeah, the turn order can be a bit of a mess. So basically in wave 1 you fight 1 of them, and you do have to be careful in wave 1, because in wave 1 there's like this sort of like enrage mechanic. He gets when he gets like in lower percentage of his HP, and basically he will do a massive HP damage, which you know, their breaths like will take off your buffs and basically kill you. Even Warrior of Light's buffs will go away. I actually tried with Bosch as well. That was another character I tried, so I was like, oh, AoE damage, no problem. And then in wave 1 he just blew away all the buffs and everyone died. But yeah, but that only happened in wave 1. I believe it only happens in wave 1. I could be wrong, but I didn't experience it from wave 2 onwards. So that's the main thing there. When you see the all attack on wave 1 and lower percentage of their HP, you have to kill it before it actually gets to you. Now wave 2 is going to be like a HP damage fest. This is where the normalcy, I guess, starts, when they just do a couple of attacks. They try to delay you, and whenever they have Brave, they will use an HP attack. They will almost always use an HP attack as long as they have Brave. So keep them broken and you should be fine. I did end up having to... Oh no, that was in the challenge quest. I'm mixing both the challenge quest and the Lufenia stage, because I've actually had a harder time in the challenge quest, and I'll talk to you guys about that later on. But let's go back to the Lufenia. Pretty much that is going to be the normal thing happening here, and I didn't really have any issues after wave 1, to be completely honest, which is weird. I had a lot of my issues on my first couple of runs in the first wave rather than the second wave. The second wave was okay. I did fail a few times on my initial runs in wave 2, but I didn't feel like it was difficult. I had a much difficult time in the first wave, believe it or not, because of that mechanic where they just pretty much kill you. I was just trying to figure out, like, why is this happening? Like, and in the end, it was just like a DPS check, I guess. Now wave 3, you fight 3 of them, like I said earlier, and it's pretty much the same as wave 2. Honestly speaking, if you have saved your burst for wave 3 and you also save your summon for wave 3, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, hands down, shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to basically kill them off before the Lufenia orbs timer go down to 0. Again, I actually only had like a few ability 1s left on Realm when we got to the last wave. That's why having a burst definitely helps, and saving your summon there definitely helps. And of course, I brought Brother's summon along because, yeah, earth damage, he needed. Not that you need it, but it certainly helps having it, right? Anyway, that's all I can really think about regarding the Lufenia stage. Let's talk about story time. So story time today is actually going to be on the fight itself as well, but it's on the challenge quest, which I actually had a much harder time. I felt like it was so limiting that to have to use Terra, which is... she's actually not that great right now. Yeah. That's the most what's the word I'm looking for? Nicest way to put it. And of course, Selfie doesn't do any Brave Shade, but you'd want the healing. And she doesn't have a lot of ability usage. She does have a refresh for her abilities, but you can only use it once. And then of course Kuja is great. Gao is great. And the thing is, I didn't really plan on pulling on Gao's banner. I wanted to save my tickets on something else, but I was failing so badly, probably because it was so late at night. I was still doing this up to 3 a.m. in the morning, trying to complete the Chaos Challenge quest. Believe it or not, I managed to finish the Lufenia somewhere around like 1 a.m. or something like that. But no, maybe a little bit earlier than 1 a.m. But definitely had a harder time on the challenge quest. I ended up using, Terra, Selfie, and Kuja a few times, and I got close quite a few times, and it just didn't work out. Towards the end, I just get plummeted by the turn order being so stupid sometimes. So it didn't work out with that team. I even max limit broke my Terra just to see if, getting the damage is enough. I didn't get Kuja's burst, remember? So, but if I did have Kuja's burst, I think the fight would have been so much easier. So in the end, I decided to do some ticket pulls on Gal's banner. I ended up using about, I'd say 70 tickets or something like that. Basically whatever leftover I had. I still haven't taken any tickets off my Bahamut farming stuff because I haven't really, I've started but I haven't finished yet. Like, not yet. Like, I'm still a long way to go. So I ended up using whatever spirit tickets I did get from not Kuja's event, like the Kurosami's event, like previous banners, and went ahead and tried to pull. And I managed to get Gao's EX, but my Gao wasn't built up. I think the only summon board he had completed was Alexander. And I just went and upgraded his character boards and went with the fight with Kuja, Gao, and initially I had Terra, but that was a terrible idea. This time, pun intended. So I went with, in the end, with Kuja, Gao, and Selfie, which, you know, I still failed a few times figuring out how to use Gao effectively. And in the end, I did manage to beat it with that team. A lot of healing. I mean, I gotta say, you know, Gao definitely makes this fight so much easier, but that's because he's the main event. Honestly, I hated this Chaos challenge quest. Not the Chaos fight itself. The Chaos fight itself is fine, but the challenge quest that limits you to these characters that are, I mean, they're okay, right? They're okay. I'm not saying they're bad, but the choices that you have, I don't like it. I didn't really like challenge quests. I thought I would. When initially first came, I was like, oh, this is exciting. They're making us use synergy characters. And then after a while, it sort of became stale and felt very limiting. And you even ask the question, why am I pulling for, you know, so-and-so characters when I'm only gonna use them here on this event, or until whenever they become synergy again, which is not for maybe, you know, a few months. So yeah, I started questioning challenge quests, and in the end, like right now, I don't feel, not just only because of this fight is terrible with the challenge quest, but it just started becoming very stale for me, and I ended up, you know, keep using synergy characters for both the regular chaos now, and then for the challenge quest as well, which I don't know. I don't know how about challenge quests. I think this should be, maybe it's probably not as limiting later down the track. I know in JP there's a few more in some of the challenge quests. I mean, the Lost Chapters, I still believe there's still 4. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Anyway, I think I'll end the video right here. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help this channel, and I really do appreciate all the support you guys give me. And of course, we're still trying to get to that 3,000 subs, guys. A little help here. Follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Monchkinz Gaming as well, and don't forget to leave down in the comments below what you think of the Lufenia fight for this one. Did you struggle? And I also want to hear your opinions on the challenge quest. Do you think it's fun? Do you think it's stale? Let me know down in the comments below, and ways to probably improve the challenge quest itself. Let me know down there, and I will read them through, and, you know, maybe we'll have a little bit of discussion in the comments. So yeah, anyway guys, that's it for me. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys